Well, this is a surprise. Alrighty, hello everyone! Welcome to the day before Lightfall. So, Destiny 2 is officially offline. Reset is not happening anymore because, you know, bleh. Well, this is Monday. There's no reset. What am I talking about? But aside from that, yes, Destiny 2 has gone offline for pre-Lightfall. Preloads are available. Anyone loading up will have either the installing thing or the update thing or a, notification saying you need more space to install things. So there you go. But aside from that, we actually have two different little updates, which I love the puka peering over Neptune. So just going through the Lightfalls tomorrow. So this isn't anything exactly important on its own. So what this article is a broad variety of a lot of the changes going through, like general patch notes, like we just saw, the launch trailer for Lightfall, the rally trailer that just came out today, developer insights into the soundtrack. Then we also have the Vidoc for Lightfall. And then we have various other things like the trailer for Neomuna. If you haven't, wait, is it Neomuna? Yeah, Neomuna. I almost called it Euroma again. But then we also have the Strand trailer. We have the link to the article about build crafting, the quality of life changes that they're making, the weapons and gear trailer, as well as weapons tuning blog link, the abilities changes blog, economy updates, and how weapon crafting is changing, how challenge is changing, and then destination or the update from Joe Blackburn about the state of the game. So if there's anything about these that you did not feel like going to find, anything about these that you wanted to double check on the details, they provided links for all of the prerequisite articles there. But aside from that, we also have a patch note that goes out with everything, and there's a lot of the stuff that's being changed. So first off, with the activities, we have the change to exotic armor so that in Trials and Comp Crucible, equipping a different piece of exotic armor will drain all your abilities from, anything. That's to prevent the wearing a neutral game exotic like Ophidian Aspect, and then when you throw Nova Bomb, putting on Dire Ahamkara to get ability energy back, and then swapping to Ophidian Aspect right after that. There's no more of that. If you swap armor, you lose your energy like you would if you swap subclass stuff. So then we also have competitive division. They fixed a bug that caused competitive intro quests to auto-claim the completion rewards. Rewards are now claimed upon interaction. And competitive Rift and Showdown have reduced revive delay time, so it is no longer a second and a half to revive somebody, is now 2 seconds, I guess. Or 2 seconds until you can revive somebody, and reduced general respawn time from 5.5 seconds to 7 seconds total. Now, so Vanguard, basically, strike playlist. Fix an issue in Heist Battleground Europa where a heavy ammo crate could respawn for players who get quarantined in the boss fight. When you play Vanguard Ops or Nightfall, your final score determines a reputation multiplier for activities completion. Okay, this is some of the changes. So now score will also improve rank multiplier rewards. Also tune the amount of Vanguard rake you see for completions, Nightfall quality, and streaks. Full pass on all Vanguard map and mode multipliers with an eye towards balancing score per hour rather than score per attempt. Vanguard and Nightfall strikes added a on-screen health bar for bosses previously missing them. Fixed an issue where the player could be given the same objective twice in a quick succession in the Devil's Lair strike. The Vanguard Ops playlist has increased in difficulty. In general, players can no longer level beyond the enemy combatants. They are now all more on par. Additionally, rotating modifiers have been added to the Vanguard Ops playlist, as seen in the Challenge Back to Destiny ad. Then the difficulty options. So, Hero, Legend, and Master difficulty have been reworked for greater challenge to now accommodate new modifiers. Adept difficulty has been since removed. Basically, there's no strikes with a few modifiers, but no champions anymore. Hero activity is now set at a soft cap of plus 20, Legend is power cap plus 30, and Master power cap plus 40. Each has a scaling combat delta that keeps you under level in the activity and provides a smoother pathway to Grandmaster. So it's not like there's easy mode, medium hard mode, and then there's insane mode. Now it's going to be easy, medium, hard, insane. More appropriately, I guess. Then most Heroes, Legend, Master, or Grandmaster activities now feature the ability to use overcharge weapons for increased damage. Which weapons are overcharged are determined by your seasonal artifact and activity modifiers, specifically. Elemental Singes and Burns have been replaced and broken into oncoming and outgoing components. Threats and Surges, damage bonuses for Surges and overcharges do not stack. So you can plan accordingly, like if you have a Surge for solar weapons. I would recommend you use a solar weapon that is not surged, and then use the kinetic that is surged, or something like that, just so you can get more damage across, as opposed to more individually. Now, Raids in Dungeons armor pieces from Master difficulty, Grasp, Duality, and Spire will now drop with higher stats overall. We'll also have the Artifice mod be that higher stat mod as opposed to extra artifact mod, because of the way they reworked artifact mods this season. For the UI, the Lightfall title screen has been changed, received a visual and audio update, of course. Guardian ranks, the UI throughout Destiny 2 has been updated to display a player's Guardian rank as opposed to Season Pass limit. The Orbit screen added a button to directly access the Journey tab, sweet. And triumphs to Journey. When building the Guardian Ranks feature, the team leaned into the opportunity to refresh and relabel Triumphs tab to better encapsulate the player's journey through Destiny 2. Many of the changes will be immediately visible, but some are more subtle, including an access point to view details from the commendations you have sent and received, an access point for seasonal challenges, and seals are no longer broken into two categories of seals and titles. They are just titles. Additionally, to focus the information shown at the top level, both triumphs and titles have been migrated to bespoke subscreens. Added the ability to equip/unequip titles from the subscreen rather than going into the details screen. Sweet. And then commendations introduced may be sent and received near the end of most activities, a la Overwatch 1 style. Accessibility and in locations where commendations may be viewed or given, the player's colorblind preferences are respected. This includes VFX and most post-game Carnage reports. And the post-game Carnage report updated the report to complement the new commendations feature and added some features. The Carnage report now consists of two tabs, commendation screen and scoreboard. Reputation wheel has been simplified and is displayed on the top right of the scoreboard page. Player cannot access the Carnage report during the mission and countdown by pressing a button on the open nav mode. Hold it down and will still take it to the director. A trade-off for this functionality is that the mission and end countdown is active in the nav, cannot be opened. Pressing a button to open the nav mode will open the Carnage report instead. Now, for ritual rank tooltips. Updated rank tooltips show all rank tooltips now include a streak tracker and added a section to show a player's total reputation rank points. Thank you. And for tracking, more items can be tracked at a time. Up to 3 Guardian Ranks objectives can be tracked, and up to 6 non-Guardian Ranks objectives can be tracked. Sweet! More tracking. Nav mode updates. A tab has been added to specifically to display tracked Guardian Ranks objectives. Tracked objectives that are not specific to Guardian Ranks are grouped together. Tracking now splits into multiple sections in the Journey tab. Guardian Ranks section specifically shows tracked Guardian Ranks objectives. All currently trackable non-quest objectives are shown in the seasonal progression point, or seasonal challenge access point. Guardian Ranks auto-tracking is enabled by default. The goal is to immediately point players toward objectives they can work on to increase the Guardian rank. This may be toggled on the Journey screen if manual tracking is more your speed. Track seasonal challenges properly display the challenge type in its tooltip on the tracking screen. Collections. Some access points have been migrated from the Triumphs tab to the Collections tab, including lore, patterns, medals, and stat trackers. That's exactly not needed, it's just info. Increasing the number of visibly recently discovered items. Oh, sweet. Waypoints, rectangles are out, circles are in. Alright. Guardian Ranks replaces Season Pass level for Guardians, as known. For records, in order to help call out which Guardian Ranks records are seasonal, a blue gradient has been added to the bottom of all seasonal records, including those on the seasonal challenges screen. Vendors, ritual vendors in the towers, Zavala, Shax, Drifter, Banshee, Saladin, and Sync 14 now have help tooltips describing core ritual and reputations, as well as explaining some of the less visible features. Now, quality of life updates. The character screen. Remove the currency display on the character screen. Okay. For clans, fix an issue where Hawthorne's icon on the tower map wouldn't consistently pulse when a clan engram was available to claim. For the roster, improved contrast between player names and backgrounds on the roster. Fix an issue causing the director screen to refresh the footer UI when the players in the roster name changes. C. Settings. Fix an issue causing the settings menu to close when leaving submenu. And generally, for gameplay and investment, I believe this is... Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy Jesus. Okay, so a lot of the stuff I was talking... Let's see, I was reading that, but honestly, for gameplay and investment, I'm going to skip over a large majority of this, because this is a lot of the stuff that was talked about before. Charger light, single system armor charge, blah, blah, blah. See seasonal artifact, how it works. Yes, artifice armor, adjust the amount of resilience. Yes, armor mods, resilience, increased cost. Let's see, Iron Pride perk, Iron Banner set. Let's see. So, okay, so this is a more specific exotic armor changes that I don't think was talked about. Capri Sting. True Sight is now granted when damaging an enemy with a smoke bomb. Additionally, when you have an undetonated smoke bomb on the battlefield and may have not been made invisible, the smoke bomb you have gained significantly increased melee energy regeneration. Not half bad. Art of Inmost Light. Reduced irritation of the empowerment ability buffs in PvE from 5 to 5 seconds down from 10. Reduced bonus class ability regeneration while empowered to plus 25 per stack, down from 150 and 38% respectively. So there's that nerf. You know, I was actually starting to have fun with a heart build off of Striker Titan, so sad. But this change is intended to increase how easily it is to get a double empowerment bonus in PvE, as well as to reduce the total amount of bonus ability provided. The goal is for Heart of Inmost Light to remain strong in ability-focused builds while giving a room for other exotics to shine. Bombardiers now cause target damage by explosive become severed when used by Strand Hunter as well. Chromatic Fighter updated for Strand as its Metal Battle Harmony. Verity's Brow, Fell Winters. Claws of Armed Car will not provide an additional melee charge when equipped to a Strand subclass. However, armor that supports coloration and appearance based on the currently selected subclass has been updated to a support Strand. Includes the Solstice set, Antaeus wards, and no backup plans. Now, for weapons, crafting changes have been anticipated. Deep sight manually triggering and all that. So let's see. Red Reticle enabled on PC. The changes to linear fusion rifles of their damage. Sleeper and Simulant and Queenbreaker ineffective. Machine guns getting more damage and increased ammo. Heavy grenade launchers increasing damage and blast radius. However, Parasite not included. Shotgun reticle is now changing size appropriate to what you are doing. So that if you're sliding, I guess the reticle will expand. Legend of Accuracy hipfire reticle is now more representative of its large spread. Kinetic weapons got their buff. Queenbreakers now uses proper blind. Shot can now chain to multiple nearby enemies. Ruinous Effigy will now suppress on slam. Leviathan's Breath will now proc volatile on perfect draw. Increased general damage will one kill all supers in PvP. And champion damage increased by 30%. 1000 Voices can now scorch and ignite. Same with Sunshot on explosion. And Polaris Lance with his perfect fifth shot. Two Tails Fox will now apply Scorch stacks instead of just general burn. Prometheus Lens gets Incandescent added to the perk or to the Catalyst. Grand Overture gets Arc Blind on its Catalyst weapons or its Catalyst ability. Manticore adds a hipfire reticle to show the current stacks of anti-grav repulsor. Tractor Cannon fixed a crash when Tractor Cannon was fired at large groups of stasis crystals. Fourth Horseman fixed an issue where the weapon had an unintended damage nerf. Sweet. Thunderlord fixed an issue where the weapon's lightning strikes could disrupt you or your teammates. I noticed that for a while, but it seemed like no one talked about it. These perks have been updated to work with Strand. Osmosis, Golden Tricore, and Elemental Capacitor. Rewind rounds. Eager Edge as well, apparently. Oh, wait, that was different point. Rewind rounds, now it works on non-vault weapons. Eager Edge has been changed a bit. Blinding Grenades have been renamed to Disorienting Grenades, and if I remember, Concussion Grenades are just gone. Vice Stinger is now only a quarter reload, not a full reload. Zenmo will now also reduce incoming flinch. The perk has been branched, so it's different on various guns. Better for scout rifles and hand cannons. Alright for sidearms and pulse rifles. Automatic weapons, not so much. Danger Zone upgraded to the description that will include while active. The perk also reduces self-damage for the weapon. Sweet. Wellspring fixed an issue with this perk was not rewarding the correct amount of energy. Now works with abilities that have multiple charges as well. For abilities with multiple charges, once the ability has one full charge considered charged, and will divert excess enemy to the other charges, giving the charged ability the least amount. The fix for the enhanced version of this trait is coming up in the future patch. Cascade Point no longer triggers off of non-precision damage against weakened targets. Variety of ability changes. Stuff we knew. Maximum orb changes on variety of supers. How stats are being provided in the tiers. Let's see. Changes in how many orbs can be made. Reduced cooldown on Marksman Gambler's Dodge. The weighted throwing knife increase in cooldown. Same thing with the lightweight, explosive, and the Withering Blade. I think that's the stasis one. That's less time though. Or that might be stasis. I'm not sure. For Titans, increase the amount of orbs it can make, increased PvE damage of Fist of Havoc, increased orbs for almost everything else, reduced cooldown on Hammer of Soul, then increase orbs, Thunder Crash, reduced flying time, a bit of a Thunder Crash nerf generally, meant for PvE. Then Ward of Dawn also changes to affected in PvE, not so much in PvP, excuse me, not so much in PvE. Then Ballistic Slam will now suppress the attacking target's base melee for 9 seconds after landing, so a follow-up melee that cannot be afforded until the player returns until first person. That's a good one. That actually makes it so the Ballistic Slam can be kind of useful. However, increased cooldowns for that, Seismic Strike, Shield Bash, Hammer Strike, and Shield Toss gets reduced time, though. In aspects, Knockout changes, less melee damage bonus against players, reduced full body melee damage against players as well. Let's see, Warlocks. Storm Trance, lots of super changes for more orbs. Daybreak can now be used longer and do more damage. Be used more often as well with the slower cooldown. Let's see, more orbs. Phoenix Dive, reduced cooldown and buffs to it while active in Daybreak. Restoration and buffed as well. For melee, Celestial Fire cooldown increase, as well as Incinerator Snaps cooldown decrease. Phenomenal Blast for stasis locks, reduced again? Huh. Alrighty. Heat rises. They split the airborne effectiveness previously granted by consuming a grenade between a passive and active. Now grants 20 airborne effectiveness passively while heat rise is equipped, an additional 50 while heat rises is active for the same total of 70. Let's see, then grenade changes. A lightning grenade. Increased base cooldown time by 30 seconds. Increased PvE damage, however. Storm grenade. Increased cooldown time on that. Flux grenade. Decreased cooldown time on that. Pulse grenade. Increased damage by 20%. For solar grenades, healing grenades, cooldown increase. Trip mines, increase cooldown. Solar grenade, increased cooldown, as well as increased damage, PvE. Surprisingly enough, Sunbracer build is going to be fun. Thermite grenades, increased cooldown, but also increased PvE damage. Incendiary grenades, decreased cooldown, however. And for Void, spike grenade, cooldown increase, PvE damage increase. Cooldown increase for Void walls, PvE damage increase. Vortex grenade, same thing. Then magnetic grenade, decrease in the cooldown, and scatter grenades, decrease in the cooldown. Then for stasis as well, increase cooldown by 30 seconds for dust fields. Add a new elemental pickup to the void and solar subclass for void breach and fire sprites, fragments, changes to various other things. Then let's see, spark of resistance change, nerf, as well as spark of instinct when critically wounded, taking damage from nearby enemies amidst a burst of damaging arc enemy that jolts things. That's nice. Spark of Haste, increased resilience, recovery, and mobility while sprinting. Knew about that. Ember of Tempering now creates a variety of fire sprites. A lot of the stuff we talked about. Then we have Ember of Mercy, a new one. When you revive an ally, you and other nearby allies gain restoration. Picking up a Solar Flare will also grant restoration. And Resolve, Solar Grenade, Final Blows heal you. So those Praxic Fire builds are going to be nuts. For Void, there's new Void Breach Echoes, in addition to previous effects. And then new ones are Echo Cessation, where finishers will create a burst of Void damage that causes nearby enemies to become volatile. Volatile targets will create a Void Breach. Echo of Vigilance, defeating a target when your shields are depleted, grants your temporary Void Overshield. So, subclass keywords. Now, Jolt will overload. Blinding will stun unstoppables. For Radiant, or for Solar, Radiant will pierce barrier. But however, if anything has existing none, anti-champion, they will not override it. Ignitions can now stun unstoppable champions, and for Void, when you have volatile rounds, you will pierce barrier. Suppression will stun overload champions, though. Stasis, slowing will stun overloads, and Shatter will stun unstoppables. And then the various strand ones where I believe suspending will stun unstoppables, and unraveling rounds will pierce barrier, if I recall. And then changing, apparently improved stunning and changing the stuns. Let's see. Barrier champions are weak to, as previously talked about, everything talked about. Finishers. All subclass agnostic finishers now support strand color as well, so you'll see green on any neutral game. The fist bump, Ghost Fist Bump even now supports strand collaboration. Oh, we're almost there. Power and Progression. Weekly powerful rewards have been removed from the Throne World and added to Neomuna, as expected. Seasonal seal stuff, engrams, energies, a lot of the stuff from last seasons have been removed in variety. And also, playlist versions of Seasonal Battlegrounds have one chest in the end of activity. If you do not have a seasonal key, as previously recalled, let's see. And platforms, let's see, add a support in-game, toggle NVIDIA Reflex, supported PC hardware, and finished variable quality of life changes regarding controller settings on PC. Collision damage, no longer lethal, ghost projections that change color based on, will support strand. For localizations, players who have access to full Mandarin audio customizations across all new Lightfall content, accompanying season, core game modes, and things. And Ikora for German has been recast. So, sorry for skipping a lot of those, but I'm going to be honest, a lot of those were things that we did already go over in previous vids, in case you weren't... That kind of goes in. A lot of the changes that were talked about there were the things that you could read up on your own about the changes here. So, like the things about the anti-champion stuff, that would have been in new build crafting or subclass changes, and, you know, just about that. Wrapping it up, in case anyone is actually curious about what I'm doing before Lightfall, I'm actually going to be hammering out as much Dead Space as possible before Lightfall, so trying to clear that out, at least my first playthrough on camera before hammering out. So with that, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video. We'll be doing it on stream, by the way, in case you're curious.